So, being in a church that's a caring community, I've spent many a year and time doing meals for people that had a sick person in their home or deaths or whatever. And then when I had cancer and 12 years ago, I think it was a real change in my faith to have to be the one that was being ministered to. And it was a change to me in understanding that this community didn't just feel obligated to do it, but wanted to do it. They couldn't do anything about the cancer, but they could take care of us and our family. And so that was a really, I think, a turning point for me in my faith, is seeing that done and experiencing that. And cancer is 10 years behind us now, but 12 years behind us now, but that has stuck with me, of the way that people showed their love and their faith by supporting not just me, but the whole family. Especially, I think, people reaching out to Trent, knowing that cancer doesn't just affect he's the one with small children, wondering if he was going to be raising small children alone and things like that, and the care that people wrapped around us during that time. We had people, we still don't know exactly who.
I don't know who raked the yard that day.
The yard. We came home from treatment one day and the yard had been raked.
And the leaves were gone.
So it wasn't
even evidence that it had been done.
It wasn't about people wanting to be thanked or wanting to be, it's just about caring for us.
Well, and it let you know what, from a receiving end, you understand what that means. Mm-hmm. And therefore it informs your actions going forward as you do it for others. Things happen to people and you can't do anything about it, but you can show up with a pot of love, or a green bean casserole. And I now know what that means. That is a big deal. It's a big deal because it is something you can do.
Well, and then dealing with now more recently, our daughter went through a lot of mental health issues and ended up in a residential treatment facility for a year, and
15 months.
It was very obviously a really, really difficult time for the family. And I've heard other families talk about it being a secret, really, and people not knowing and not, being afraid to tell people and wondering what people would think, and people being weird. And, our kid's name was in the bulletin every week.
Yeah.
And people reached out to us and cared for us and her. And, when she was home, she was treated, we're glad you're here and we love you and we miss you. And there was there wasn't stigma associated with that in this community.
And we've there is humor in everything. We've laughed that your kid breaks a leg or something, and you do get the casserole. But when there's this great mystery about something, an illness that people don't understand, they go away. Well, this place didn't do that. I mean,
we may have even gotten the casserole.
Well, I think we got plenty of casseroles as a result of that. But Keenan, as part of a project she did, she had a worship service here. She's decided she wants to be a worship leader, and so part of her recovery, her treatment, was telling her story and being open with it. So there was a worship service here that she did. She sang and gave a testimony, I guess you would call it. And I think, there's a lot of download of information. And I I could tell afterwards when people saw us that they were still processing it, you know. And I could tell it because I had done it. You know, I'd done it over time. But the biggest thing is that was an enormous support for Keenan. I mean, that was Lutherans on a Wednesday night in the summer coming out, and the church was full, and it was just a great thing to see that support, and it meant everything to Keenan to see that. So, you know, there are groups in this community, and they are built around caring, and one of them is just gut-wrenching is the ladies that quilt. They share my Sunday school room, you know, so I see it in the beginnings of it and everything. And so the seniors get quilts as they go to college, and it was as Keenan was going into treatment.
Just a little bit before that.
Yeah, and I don't know if she had admired one or something in the Sunday school room, but one of the ladies, you know, sort of aside, just brought it to Keenan, and he said, you know, we want this to be a comfort to you, that, you know, that because we have talked about you and we have prayed about you while we're quilting, and so that was just a great thing for Keenan. She's got it, she loves it, she took it with her to treatment, and you know, it's just a constant reminder of that caring of those ladies as they sit around and quilt.
All of these groups, even if they don't have a specific, you know, like the meals or ministry or whatever, they become a small group that cares about, you know, their people in their group. So when something happens, they rally, you know, when just having the communities and the different groups to support, both when you're the one going through the thing, but also when there's somebody you love going through something and you want to do something and you don't know what to do. There's always a group or a person or whatever figuring that out so that you can link in. And it's money is always a root of, you know, disagreements and planning, and you know, every year there's other places that money could be going. There's colleges, you know, we've got a college student and a high school senior in a 80-year-old house that we're trying to keep from falling down, and, you know, aging parents on the horizon, and, you know, all of that. So there's always reason to not. But, you know, given, and the longer we go, the more it's true, the importance that this community has had, and, you know, it's we feel like we have to support that.
Well, it's just what's important to you, and it's an opportunity to participate in something larger. I mean, I know that financially, I can't necessarily make a difference. We can't necessarily make a difference in social cause X. But as part of this community, we can.